And we have just under 6 minutes of this race left to go. Fairly dominant performance from David Mellor in the 17, although because he didn't start off in the lead, that was at the end of the first lap. And David Mellor then wrested the lead from Simon Kendrick and proceeded to pull away from the rest of the field. There he goes, through, completing 6 laps. Here comes the battle for second. Martin Wills with Steve Darby right with him, getting a bit of a tow as they head towards Riches. Then behind Darby is the slightly race rusty Dean Sullivan, although you have to say he's doing a splendid job at the moment. But on that last lap, he was about a second slower than Steve Darby up ahead of him, who is closing in on Martin Wills. And, well, Simon Kendrick is dropping back. He's now been overtaken by Nick Goller and now overtaken by Jim Bainham as well. So he's falling back into the classic competitors now, which shouldn't really happen with an MGF, but that's what seems to be occurring at the moment. Presumably he's got an eye on the championship. He is the reigning champion. He'll be thinking about points. He won't want to drop down into retirement if he can keep going for the final 4 minutes of this race. And that's what he will attempt to do. Owners Club, Lancaster Insurance Championship. Well, I'm not sure quite how much it costs to fettle one of these classic MGBs or MG midgets. I suppose there will come a point when they start to be worth too much money to go racing. Owners Club still with a pretty faithful following of competitors. As Mellor approaches the start-finish line, this will be 7 laps completed. We'll have 2 laps left to go at the end of this one, so we're going to get 9 laps out of it. There goes Mellor with a sizable lead. See what the gap is back to second, but the second place battle is still fraught between Martin Wills and Steve Darby. Again, Steve Darby, this time he looks to the outside, but I think that's more just to sort of put some psychological pressure on Martin Wills. Dean Sullivan's dropped back 1 because Stuart Plotnick's got back up to 4th, so Dean Sullivan having a problem somewhere on that lap and dropping back to 5th. Then Baker and McDermott go through. There's Nick Goller. And here, leading Class A, the Classics, it's former champion Jim Bainham with his MGB Roadster with a hard top on. I think he'd take that off today. Such a lovely day. William Sharp goes through in the midget. Then the 29 machine, and that is another ZR. That's Meninda Goller, who's fallen back a bit from where he was at the start of this race. He was running in 7th.
The lap times for William Sharp, I would imagine that last lap is going to be a little way off the pace that he's been doing early on in the race, because the car is now beginning to misfire. It's as though it's dropping onto 3 cylinders.
Oh, right, I thought it sounded a bit lumpy as it went past. Right, so we'll watch that. He's at the moment 2nd in class. 3rd in class is Marcus Holland in the 71 MGB GT, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, see if Marcus is going to move up in the class reckonings. So the tail enders come through. There's the 83 car of Phil Walker, so that's still running, the MGF of Phil Walker, but it was getting very smoky. It's stopped smoking, but he's down in 19th position, and Kendrick has not yet come through. I fear his battle against unequal odds may have finished. Through goes Mellor, starting his last lap with a sizable lead, but Darby is now in second. Now Martin Wills has lost second. He dives or looks down the inside, but not quite close enough to wrest second place from Steve Darby. Mark Baker goes through with Steve McDermott, those two having a nice scrap as well. And as I said, a lot of scraps between MGFs and MGZRs, which do show just how competitive the championship is. It does come down to whether you prefer a saloon or a sports car, because they seem to be roughly equal, certainly around here, in performance. But at the moment, no one having an answer to the 17 car, which is a shame, because on the first lap, of course, the reigning champion was in the lead. Simon Kendrick, before whatever mechanical gremlins intervened and slowed up his progress. And here comes William Sharp, as you suspected, Mark. He's lost an overall position to Meninda Golla, but he's still second in class. Here's Marcus Holland, who is some way back, and it's actually 9.5 seconds between Sharp and Holland. So we'll keep an eye on that, because that is second in class, which could be at risk if the 66 MG Midget is indeed suffering. Yeah, we've definitely lost Simon Kendrick now. Hopefully, whatever is the problem with that can be remedied for the second race. Meanwhile, as the last few cars come over the start-finish line, still having some interesting battles between them, the leader is coming up towards the checkered flag, which is being made ready for David Mellor, claiming his second victory of the season. Number 17, David Mellor, crosses the start-finish line in second place. Here's the battle in the lead. Here's this battle for second. It's going to be the MGF. Martin Wills takes second from Steve Darby. So Wills is second, 44. Darby in 8th is third. There goes Stuart Plotnick, 4th in number 5. In 5th, it's going to be Dean Sullivan. 6th is Mark Baker, 53. And in 7th,